Yeah. So. All right, everybody is joining. Rhythm. Hey guys. Cool.
Hi.
All right, let's invite.
Now the old team's here.
You guys met before too, Frank?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah?
Oh, I met Kota. Kota, hi.
Yeah.
Hey Frank, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Let's wait oh shit. It's a few more, and then we're gonna start to do it. All right. All right. Yeah. Hi Tom. All right. It's cool. I think it was like a Frank and Juan. Two of you guys are the only person who joined twice, right? Actually.
Yeah.
You guys are basically like expertise of like this program since beginning and up to like this year so far. All right, cool. Let's wait like a few more minutes and we're just gonna start today. All right. Arnav is here, Asma is here, Haitam is here, Emosan is here, Jack is here, Johannes is here, Kota is here, and then Rizmi is here. All right, and then just let me. If someone cannot join it, we will share YouTube link later. Cool. All right, let's start to do it. Cool. Shall we start? Let's start. So as I shared the list of the question, so this time difference between last year and this year is last year when we did a fireside chat, I was the only one who just asked the question directly to the speakers, and then we open up to the audience like you guys do, right? But thing is that this year we're just gonna share the list of questions first, and also like speakers' background. So basically, like a student or like attendees, any of the you guys can start to think about, also start to prepare what you guys wanted to know, what you guys wanted to ask the speakers too, right? And then today we have Frank. So I am very glad that we have a chance to talk about your wonderful experience of this program and to hear about developing your startup idea twice actually last year. The first one was 2019 and last one was 2020 last year. And then just give everyone a quick intro about Frank. He recently graduated from Minerva University. Is it last month or 2 months ago?
Last month.
Okay, yeah, last month. So I assume like some of you guys know, especially like Kota, that's like you joined the last year as well. You guys know each other. And then past 2 years, he has attended to this program. And then today, we like to hear about his experience and then what worked for him and what didn't work for him, right? And then thanks for coming here, Frank. Just gonna dive into the question quickly, all right? So maybe like it could be like a good idea that you could introduce yourself to us because I know what you guys have done. The thing is you can express yourself, introduce yourself to other student.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Frank. I just graduated from Minerva. I'm M21. So I was studying double major computational science and arts and humanities. Yeah, I guess that's it. I have been in this program for 2 years from 2019, where we actually went to Japan to do to have some like real good experience. And last year was like fully remote. Yeah, so basically I built 2 different startup ideas for these 2 years. And I think I'll share one of them today, right? Is that okay? Like if I share my pitch deck or something like that?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Actually, if that's okay, you could share about Vizly's like a pitch deck.
Yeah, I will not do like a pitch, but I can like go through everything, like the problem, how we solve it, like very quickly.
Right. Okay. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it then.
Yeah. So basically, while I start sharing my screen, basically last year we had a chance to form the team in very early in January, last January. And then we start to like brainstorming about different startup ideas, and then we finally came up with this one. Let me share. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, great. So it's called Vizly. And this was actually our final pitch deck at the end of last year's program. So it's an AI-driven toolbox that facilitates feedback and communication between designers and clients. So I'll very quickly go through it. It's not a pitch. So we found the problem that a lot of time, designers spend like more time not on design, but on actually on other stuff. Like this is how the current design workflow, like the designer come to the client and they start do ideation together. And after the ideation stage, the designers start to design things. And then and when they finish a prototype, they start to evaluate the design, the prototype with their clients. So this is like an iterative process. So, so the designers actually fear more about client communication, communicating with clients than fear about, the lack of creativity in their design. So communication is actually like a big part in the design process. And current design products, they only help the designers with the actual design, like Figma, Canva, or Adobe. They don't help designers communicate with their clients. So this is what we did last year. Vizly, basically, we want to help designers overcome their fear in communicating with clients by doing two things. So first, we help designers understand their clients' preferences during the ideation stage in under 2 minutes. Second is during the evaluation of design, we help designers to achieve marketing KPIs through AI powered design evaluation. So first thing we do is we allow the designer to communicate with their clients about the preference through like a automated process. So designers can upload different styles of design and clients can rate them. And then the designers can get a kind of a feeling of what the client prefers. And this is like 30 times faster than the normal design ideation process. And the second part of it is we have this AI-driven model to evaluate your design. Basically, we can predict a design's popularity on social media and predict the, if it's like a graphic design, we can predict the audience visual attention on this design, as you can see here. So yeah, so this would be a first AI powered design evaluation tool. Okay. So we did more than 150 interviews. Sorry, my screen is frozen. So we did more than 150 interviews, and most people are really interested in our product. And we also have more than 100 test users at the time. Actually, at the end, we have, I think, around 200 test users We also did some user interview with like senior designers, marketing agencies. We went to Mozilla's like a startup incubation lab, and we actually got accepted as like one of the 25 teams among like 500 plus candidates, sort of being mentored and funded by Mozilla. And then this is just about market size. I'll skip that. Yeah, and we provided like a subscription-based business model. I'll also skip this part because it's not that important. Yeah, and we found very few competitors actually in our space, because we are sort of the first one doing design feedback. And I guess next is the team page, so I'll just skip that. Yeah, that was basically what we did last year.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No. It's fine. It shows my screen is not sharing anymore. I don't know what happened, but could you see the last few slides just now?
Last one we don't see, we can see your face now.
Okay, yeah, now I stopped sharing, but like before
Okay.
that it says, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, last one was the like a Mozilla one for my side.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I guess it's a little bit laggy my computer, but
I
it's
I think
fine.
it's
yeah.
market size
Yeah.
as well. After.
Oh yeah, market size. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that was what we did last year.
Cool. Awesome. In that case, yeah, thanks for sharing. I mean, we're just gonna open up like a question to you guys. You guys can ask the question to Frank later. I'm just gonna like quickly cover the general question first. In that case, I'm just gonna skip the few questions. Yeah, so your case, right? You and Juan, two of you guys are only persons who attended the program twice. And how was attending the program twice? And then what were the top three like useful things that you learned from the program, especially like first year and second year? First year was in Tokyo at the Cornell, and second year became remote, right, due to pandemics. And then what I'd like to share with this year's like attendees, like today's audience.
Yeah, so I attended twice, mainly because like the first year's experience was very good. Like we went to different startups in Japan. We had very good mentors, and I personally learned a lot in the first year. So the second year, Juan, which is another M21, we were on the same team in the first year, and we continued like our collaboration in the second year. And I guess when I started the second year, I feel more confident because I've learned a lot during the first year. And I sort of know how this program works. So in the first year, because 2019 was also like the first batch, we were the first batch of students coming into this AI lab. So at the beginning, we actually don't know what's gonna happen. Like nobody knows what's gonna happen. So we were in a like exploring stage, I believe, both like Minerva and just everyone involved. And second year is like more experience. We start very early. We build our first prototype actually before the summer. Our first prototype came out in, I guess, late April. So in that sense, I was more prepared for the summer program. When we went into the summer program, we focused more on the business side of things, interviewed a lot of users. And yeah, that was a pretty nice experience. And the top 3 things that I've learned from this program. So first is about the team. So I think it is really important to talk to your teammates and set expectations, know each other very well in terms of what you guys want to achieve at the end of the summer. Like someone just wants to build a startup, someone wants to build products, someone wants to talk to a lot of people, interview users. So I guess it's really important at the beginning that you guys need to like sort out all these things, and that will make everything a lot easier. Yeah, and the second thing is, I believe, in terms of building the startup, the problem that the users are really important. In the first year, I wasn't like too aware of this thing. Also because in the first year we had last time, but last year I really feel that user interview is super, super helpful. We did, as you can see, we did more than 150 user interviews. And I personally probably did like in-person one-on-one interview. I did like at least 10 in-person interviews. And some for others are like online or survey, things like that. But when you talk to actual people that might use your product or people that know the industry, you get so much more insights. Last year we were focusing on the design industry, but none of the teammates are actually a designer. I sort of have some design experience, but I'm not like a designer. So we did a lot to complement that, a lot of interviews to complement that. And we talked to very famous design agencies, marketing agencies, and everyone is like very willing to help you. If you say, yeah, I want to solve this problem in your industry, and they will provide you a lot of critical insights. So my suggestion is like start early. I know this is the second week, but if you have decided like a general direction to go this week, then just start interviewing people, connect with people on LinkedIn or through your personal network and talk to them. I think it's really important. And the last thing is about the solution side. Solution side is actually what I learned from first year. Just really briefly, we were trying to do a meeting summarizer, a digital meeting summarizer. Basically, it's a bot that will attend your digital meeting and it will transcribe everything in your digital meeting into text and do some entity recognition or summarization to produce a meeting report, meeting summary for you. Technically, it's very hard. So we spend a lot of time reading paper, trying to come up with a good product that year. And it didn't turn out too well. One thing is because like the technical difficulty is actually very high. Although I believe the idea is still really important, but it's very hard to complete a good prototype or even release your prototype in 2 months. And also, if you spend too much time like building all these kind of stuff, you have less time, interviewing user, knowing what users really want, doing these type of things. So I would say this is an AI lab. Of course, your solution will be centered around AI, but just trying to find something that are unique. And this ties back to your user interview, right? During the user interview, you need to find something. You're not competing with with Google, Facebook. So in your user interview, you have to have that, sense to to find a problem that is suitable for your AI to solve. And I think last year it was a lot better because design evaluation, it's computer vision and it's not that hard. I mean, there are a lot of existing models that you can use, but we just apply it to a domain that are not being explored enough. So yeah, try to find, I feel like these solutions are more suitable for you if you want to release your products on Product Hunt during this internship, this program. Yeah. Is that 3 things? Yeah, that's 3 things.
Yeah. First one is a team. Second one is a user interview, and last one is a solution, right? And then based on that one, like what you like to share with? I mean, probably that's like a things probably you already shared too, right? And the next question is, if you can attend this program again, right, as a student, it's gonna be, let's say, it's gonna be like your third time. And how would you spend time differently and efficiently as having a experience already?
I would definitely say, because although I just started, like I just graduated a month, but it still hits me. Like I would definitely say cherish your time here, because I don't think you will get a second chance if you want to do startup or similar things in the future. I don't think you will get a second chance to be mentored so closely by a bunch of people, experienced like experts again in the future. Like this is eventually like an educational environment. Like Jane will set up a lot of this type of fireside chats. You will meet with people from different startups with different experiences. You have professors. I just saw chat. I think Professor Watson is still in this year. So you'll have good professors talk to you. You'll have a lot of support from everywhere. And I feel like, so I started to work in an early stage startup, and I feel like this wouldn't happen if you really like go into the society and say, oh, I want to have a startup. You may get into other incubation programs, but I don't think like it is as educational as this one. So definitely try to learn things. And I believe, Jane, do you still do the weekly, like your presentation about like growth hacking, marketing, everything? Do you still do that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, be sure to. This is like free class for you, and I think you will learn a lot. And also, yeah, I think it's just very like rare that you get another chance to learn these type of things. So, and it will, I guess, probably likely to help you in the long run. So definitely try to learn something here. Yeah.
Cool. It sounds like, I gave some kind of money before this program, and you're like, encouraging like do like you guys need to work on like this. But anyway, yeah, sorry. Let's move to like the next question. Just more like ideation side too, right? For the like last year, you guys worked on like a Vizly, and as you guys say, you're the only person who has some kind of design experience too, right? Not yet. Probably I'm gonna pay like after this event. Why did your team decide to work on the design industry, and then why decided to like tackle the problem? Because it sounds like you didn't face that problem too, right? And then there are like 4 teams like this year. You're still working on like ideation stage right now, right? What was the reason that you guys started to work on design industry and then tackle that problem?
Yeah. I think our ideation stage is less less usual than others. Because we formed the team in January, we started very early, but we spent 2.5 months doing ideation only. And we just had too many ideas, but you always will have too many ideas. You can't narrow down. And in the end, we decided on one thing, is the summer program hasn't started yet at the time. So we figured out, what if we just build something first? I don't really recommend it here because you guys only have 2 months. We had like much more time. So our team last year was like 4 engineers, like 4 very technical side members. So we just write down some like technical things that we want to try in our solution. And that includes computer vision, things like that. And then we came across like a research paper that tells you how to predict people's visual attention on graphic designs and data visualizations. And we actually successfully replicated that research paper and have a very good model. And after we had that model, we tried to feed it with, we try to use it to predict your visual attention on different graphic designs that we downloaded online. And it works pretty well. So then we started to think, oh, so what kind of problem can we solve with this model, right? So we started to do a lot of user interview at that stage, talk to designers. And I previously worked at like a design, AI plus design company before. So I talked to my previous employers about this and they were very helpful with that. So connected me to a lot of designers. And then, and then we just kind of narrowed the problem because we had like a sort of solution there. So we trying to kind of connect the problem to the solution. And after hundreds of user interviews, we finally found like a very good way to utilize what we have to solve the problem. Yeah, but I would say the thing that helped us the most is still the user interview, because we accidentally found that there's actually a business problem that we can solve with our prototype.
I see. So you guys' case is like you had like a longer time period to compare the teams. There are like 4 teams. That's like this year, because you guys like spend like 3 months in advance, build like tech solution fast, and then after that you started to like talk to like a bunch of users, and then find out what could be the ideal problem that you guys can solve it by using the model you guys made it, right? That's cool. Actually, this one could be like a last question, and then I would like to open up to a question to everyone. And that's like, talking about the after the program, right? So last year, I remember your team, Vizly, you guys, it's even like since beginning, I remember that because you guys reached me out probably like 2 or 3 months before, like, hey, we are working on like this idea. We like to get your feedback, right? Probably that was like a January or February before program started. And then you guys like intentionally mentioned that, hey, we really wanted to start startup, and then we wanted to get funding by the end of this program, right? So I kind of remember you guys have a very high expectation by yourself, right? And then after the program last year, your team tried to start a startup, right? As actually a full-time gig. And then I like to hear the story and challenge you guys face. And then in the end, you guys decided not to do it too, right?
Yeah.
And what made the decision for that, right?
Yeah, it's actually a lot of practical stuff. When reality comes in, there are a lot of things to consider. So at the end of last year's program, we did seriously consider, trying to get some kind of seed funding and continue to develop that as a product. But the most important obstacle there was that we were a full-time student, and like it's not likely that we're going to drop out or anything. So for seed funding, we've talked to a lot of people, but of course, like when money is involved, they definitely want you to kind of do it full time, like pour your energy and resource into this startup. And also we had issue with like, work study, people need to do work study to support themselves and capstone projects, things like that. So we couldn't get the funding at that time. So at that time, our collective decision was to, okay, let's wait and see. And maybe if we like finish with all the academic stuff, and maybe by the time we can work full time, we can talk about this decision. So this year in March, we kind of gathered together again, but at that time, I was the only one that can do this thing full time. So one of my teammates, Jason, decided to go to law school. Another teammate, Yon, decided to do PhD in CS at Brown University. And Juan got a job at a startup. So he's also willing to, like, if we get the funding, like drop out his job and continue work on the startup here, work on Vizly. But half of the team have decided to pursue other path. So yeah, that was just like a decision that we have to make, because we kind of lose half of the team and we couldn't continue at that point. Yeah.
I see.
And also, we had like several, like 100 user as Vizly, right? Maybe we have 20,000 user, we would all have dropped out of Minerva and started to, yeah. But there are a lot of things to consider when you need to decide these type of things. Yeah, but not to discourage you guys.
Yeah, actually, in that case, like, sorry, like a last question, and then I'm just gonna open up to everyone. If you think about last year this time, right, or like last year when you guys working on like a busy, do you think there was any chance you could actually start to monetize and start to get paid by any of like users and customers? Because you guys didn't do it too, right? But the thing is, what if you have done it? That's probably gives like a financial sustainability to you and your teams too, right? Do you think there was any chance to do it?
If I'll say that, I would say, like, seriously, if if there's no COVID, I believe there's a chance, because if we get to work together, I think the efficiency will be a lot higher, and we can, because we already have some sort of prototype coming into this program. And if we like start working together, like say in Tokyo, from mid-June, maybe at the end of July, we'll have a more complete product. And then at that time, maybe we have more user and maybe monetize. So yeah, but I think it's still probably it was like at the beginning of COVID and people still don't know how to efficiently collaborate online. I believe now everyone's used to the situation, and collaboration should be easier this year.
I see. Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I remember like last year was a bit hectic. Even the end of the program, we were still discussing, do we have a chance that you guys can come to Japan and then present, right, in Tokyo?
Yeah.
The thing is, we didn't do it too. All right. In that case, yeah, thanks for sharing your very insightful experience. And I didn't know how you guys decided to not to work on Vizly actually this year. Let's open up the question to other people. Yes, let's go, Jack.
Yeah, just some real talk, Jin. Why did they not get funding?
Are you asking me?
Yes, because
I
unless
think
Frank knows the answer too.
Maybe I will take the question.
probably that's like a Nemo-san. Go ahead, Nemo-san. Popcorn Nemo-san.
Yeah, okay. So that is a very nice question. So there's several stages for funding. So it's called an angel round or seed round or pre-seed round. It's a kind of the stage for the before the product, and after that there's a seed round, a series round, series A, B, and C, and furthermore, and it is a kind of the variation, and whether they can get fund or not is judged by the product itself. And so basically, we for our judge and assessment for the team Vizly was kind of positive, and so we were not reluctant to fund the team Vizly, but in that case, we will judge the team by the how do they think about their careers. I mean, when we will fund to the before the series stages, it means sometimes you need to pivot the product or services according to the market areas. It means that requires for the whole team members to commit over 100% to that products or services. So in that case, so when we thought is as Frank said, some of the members in Vizly has a kind of they wonder their plan for the careers, so that we stopped to commit for the funding at that stage. And for the next stage, if the products go well, I think that we can judge whether we will fund or not, is the first point. And the second point is that I think it is a little bit difficult for the middle students. It means that in order to fund the company, you need to decide which country to book. So each city has a different types of laws or taxes or something like that. And it is related to the living cost of the core team. And also it is strongly related to the first market. So that, so they also, I think, yeah, I heard that the team Vizly team wonder for which cities or which countries to vote, and also the which to decide which countries or cities market to enter first. So such kind of the things is not settled, so that it is difficult for them and us also to decide to fundraise in the very early stage.
And then probably, like, yeah, one thing I could add is we're gonna have, like, fundraising legal Q&A in the week 9, so you guys can understand like how investment works too, right? But there's a big difference between angel investment and then the VC's investment too, right? Angel investors is, I am not wealthy. The thing is, let's say if I just exit my previous company $1 billion, right? And I do have like enough money by myself, so I just can like, hey, I like Frank, just gonna invest like a 50K, try whatever you want to do. It's more like a kind of like a patron, like a system. In that case, usually angel investor, they don't expect get financial return. They just want to support people, right? But however, for the professional like investors, if they do have like, raise money from other people, that's their job too, right? It's not like, hey, I like Frank, let's invest, do whatever you want, right? It doesn't work that way, because they do have a different type of like legal obligation from their investors. Any of the decision need to make money somehow too, right? Therefore, they need to clearly explain Vizly's like team members' commitment, right? So that's like a quick like a thing that I can explain. I think it's like a Vizly case was, I mean, yeah, it's like, we also like trying to like, find out like what could be like a structure, how we can help like the student after the program too. But thing is that we still haven't like, figured it out yet, honestly speaking, that sense, right? The thing is that was like a great product, yeah. It was like the team worked really hard. That's like, we remember it. All right, let's take another question. Python, Johannes, Asma, Rhythm. Oh no. Anyone has any question? I think you guys should ask any question. We don't take it like that offensive. If you guys ask any like a stupid question, hey, Gene's like speaking and funny, how can I handle it? That's fine too. No one has any question? All right. In that case, actually, I do have. Yeah, sorry, hi Tom. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, your mic is muted.
Maybe you can go first, and then I can go next.
You mean my question?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious about like Flunk's. You're like a next career. You just graduated from Minerva University, and then you always like told me that you really like early stage company, so you don't prefer to work for like a big corporate, right? Or like a big like later stage of like a companies. What's the kind of like a plan? Why you prefer to work on like early stage company? Why you want to start your own startup like at some point? If you can share like some of your personal like a passion to us.
Yeah, so I used to want to work for big companies, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. Used to, but then I don't know, last year kind of changed me. Like I don't know about people here or other people, but as I get closer and closer towards my graduation, I feel like my Minerva experience has made me a lot more, I don't know, adventurous. Maybe that's the word. So yeah, I kind of want to work in an environment where I have more agency to do stuff. That's why. So currently, I'm working at a early stage startup, sort of Series A. Just raised like $50 million, and yeah, I currently do something related to natural language processing, like AI conversational stuff. I don't know about like longer term, like in the future, but definitely I would say I will try to have, a sort of startup in the future. I mean, the thing is, when I look back, I've learned so much things during these programs, right? And in Minerva, and like I have to use it sometime. Like if you don't use it, it feels like your experience is like worthless, right? If you just work at like a corporate 9-to-5 job, then just go to some other universities. Why do you come to Minerva, right? That's just my personal take. So I think with these different experience and programs I've attended, I think I'll try something that kind of can fully utilize it. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. Let's take High Thumb's question, and then let's take the Asma's question next. All right.
Awesome. Thank you for remembering. As a follow-up to your answer and my question as well is, what if that never doesn't happen, where you get a chance to maybe incorporate those skills within your role or something like that? What would you do then? And then my question that I actually had, the original one, was how do you get beyond like different ideas? Like it's more specific of the roadblock we have on my team. We have a few different ideas on the business model, and it's kind of a challenge to get beyond it in terms of we can't run experiments sometimes, or experiments take a long time to validate, like things like that.
Yeah. So to answer your question first, well, I would say just like the easiest and most direct way is to do user interview. like last year, what we did is we made a spreadsheet, and we put all the connections or all the people that we found online on the spreadsheet. And on another column, we will assign people to interview them. And then we record the meeting notes on our own. And in our team meeting, we'll just go through every single interview notes. And the person who's responsible for the interview will just like describe, explain to the teammates, like, how did the interview go? What's the takeaway? And we sort of gathered that information all together. And if you really want to be technical, we did ask a few like questions, and like we did have a set of like interview prompts, and we did calculate how many % of the interviewees choose to do this, how many percentage of the interviewees choose to, prefer the other business model, things like that. And when you have like 50 or 100 like user interviews, then you can see like maybe even quantitatively, which business model or idea seems better. But that was, of course, if you're like all your business ideas are in the same domain. Like if you choose design and you have like 3 different things in design, then you probably can do that. If you have like 10 different business ideas in 10 different domains, then I guess your team need to like talk to each other, like set your expectations, who's good at which domain, who has connection in which domain, and try to find 1 or 2 domains that your team can really leverage your strength on, and then do the user interviews. Yeah. And about your follow-up, what if I don't get a chance to use all the skills that I learned? Well, I guess you need to find a chance, right? You always need to find that chance. Well, you can always, leave one company and start your career in a new one. Of course, it has a lot of risks connected with you, but at least for me now, I have nothing to lose. Like I just graduated. I don't have like kids to raise, things like that. So I can explore around for a few more years. Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, one thing it's one thing I would emphasize is like time is compound too. Also, experience is compound too. So if you can take like a risk, like especially when you're young, it's better to take it as much as possible. Anything whatever you guys haven't done it, that's gonna like a compound interest, and then that's open the much bigger opportunity for your future. That's like I feel it right now. Probably I am a little bit older than you guys, not younger. I'm older than you guys, so. Cool. In that case, let's take Asma's question. Then probably if no one has any question, we can probably wrap up. Yeah, let's take Asma's question next.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I think it's very nice to hear from someone that has walked the road. My question was already a little bit in item, so I'm going to try to reformulate it. I'm curious about how you balance trying to learn new skills in the 3 months that we have, and at the same time harnessing your already existing talents. Like, where do you strike the balance? Should you strike the balance, or should you just focus on the thing that you're good at and go deep on that? I'm curious about your opinion there.
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. So at least for last year, when we formed the team in January, we had a meeting where we just talked to each other out loud about what we want to do, because you need to balance, of course, like your personal needs with your teammates' needs, right? So in January, all of our, because it's very early, so our goal was just we want to build something. We want to learn some skills, particularly in AI. So in January, with that goal, we start to like sorting out business ideas based on what kind of what kind of, we want to do computer vision. So we have maybe these 3 ideas, or we want to do NLP. So we have the other 3 ideas. So yeah, that makes, at least for my team, on the same, we were on the same page at the very beginning. And we built some products, we built some pitch deck, we participated in some competition and got a lot of feedback from other people. And then at the start of the summer program, we met again and we talked about like our new expectations. And at that time, we started to, really think of, yeah, maybe we already have like a sort of prototype. Maybe we can aim at, getting fundings or get more users on the web. I believe 2 weeks into the program, we released our product on Product Hunt. So we were like really focusing on sort of the business side, expanding ourselves, and talking to different users, asking for collaboration, that type of things. But before doing this, we always have like a team meeting and set our goals together. And I think if you want to balance these, you also need to meet with your team. Maybe someone wants to learn new stuff, whereas the other people wants to build a cool idea out of that. And when you have that, it's not necessarily mutually exclusive, right? You can have 2 people in your team. If you have 4 people, you can have 2 people working on the business ideas, the other 2 sort of exploring the technical stuff around it. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Let's take actually a question from last question from, or any comment from Nemo-san too. He knew Frank Weil too, right?
Okay. So, yes. So my question is related to the after the Vizly AI Lab. So there's 2 things. Do you find something the different concept, or I mean that, okay, have you changed your concept or feelings or thought about the startup company before and after the AI Research Lab? So if you have find something different, you mean that before the AI Research Lab, I thought the startup was kind of that, but after that I found this kind of that, or something like that.
Definitely.
Sorry for the difficult question.
I'll make it short, because if I talk about it, I could talk about it for a long time. But when you actually kind of get involved into trying to start your startup, it's like when I now look at other startups, or even like the startup that I currently work at, you kind of know the difficulties that they have, and you kind of know like how things should work. One thing is, as Jim mentioned, like about the legal startup stuff that goes into actually incorporate and having the startup. Even like after the first year, I don't know that, because in the first year we weren't talking about like funding and stuff like that. But last year, when we actually went to that stage, went that far away, and we started to know there are so many things to consider, like which state has the lowest tax in the US, things like this, and also about like how I guess you guys will learn it after, like growth hacking, about getting the user. If you have a good product and nobody's using you, that's kind of missed the point, right? And we try to, last year we tried to get into like designers communities, and we bumped into designers that are unwilling to use our products, and some design communities that are like super excited about our product. And you will meet a lot of different people in when you start a startup. So it's definitely like an experience that will like, yeah, help you. And I mean, the biggest difference is before this AI research lab, I don't want to do startup actually, but after I want to do startup. I think that difference is, you know, big enough.
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question, and that's like a great answer. Also, probably one thing I like to share is the probably back to probably Asman's question. Are you learning like a hard skill and the soft skills too, right? So I don't usually focus on like learning like a specific hard skill, because if you read a book, if you just check it, if you take like a certificate, like a join school and stuff, that's actually anyone can acquire too, right? You just need to spend time and just like reach out to the right resource. But thing is, I am trying to like get the experience as much as possible. Learning by doing is my case is because actually, you know, there is a huge difference that you have learned by doing. Also, you kind of know on the theory too, right? Actually, in the end, in the realities, you need to implement. Even if you know the theory, it's kind of like the same idea. Like economists, like are they like the richest person? Actually, no, right? They know how economy works. The thing is, they don't know how to implement in the market too, right? But that's kind of like a little bit similar to like entrepreneurship, as a kind of like academic like a perspective. So probably like, you know, I even like I can see probably like actually last time Nemo and I we discussed about like a Frank. We saw the 2 years ago was like a Frank, and the Frank right now like a kind of, you know, the different, right? So we have seen the different. I'm not saying like which one better and which one is worse, just like a different person. That's we are like seeing today. So that's kind of, you know, we are very happy to get to get like a share his experience and thought and to you guys too. And then what's the best way that people can reach out to Frank? Maybe like some of the students they don't feel like they don't want to ask in public, right? Maybe they do have the separate question to you, right? Well, in that case, what's the best way that they can reach out to you? You guys on the same Slack channel?
I am in the AI Lab Slack channel, but like you can always connect me like Facebook, LinkedIn. I mean, when you search your name, I'm pretty sure it will show up. So yeah, or email, anything works. Yeah.
Gotcha. In that case, I'm gonna share the your email. Also, like feel free to reach out to Frank on Slack at the AI Lab, right? Cool. In that case, we can wrap up. Just 1 hour. It's perfect. And then we can take a good picture for the thumbnail on YouTube. All right. If rhythm, no, do it, Haitam. Let's do it. All right. If you guys can turn on the camera, that'd be great. All right. 3, 2, 1, cheers. All right. Let's do it. All right. We can do like a thumbs up. Hey. 3, 2, 1. You guys can do like a funny face too. Cheers. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much, everyone. See you guys on Slack, and thank you so much, Frank. Maybe actually could be a good idea that we can invite him on the midterm presentation. Nemo-san.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. If you're free. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to join. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Cool. See you guys on Slack. Have a good day.
Bye. Thank you, Frank.
Bye.
Bye.
No
Thanks
worries.
a lot. See you.